This is one of my favorite passages, and one of those passages that I feel like you spend a lifetime trying to live into, to understand. It's packed with so much meaning and even nuance, and so I want to offer just a word today on this passage. So John 1, here we go with verse 1. In the beginning was the Word, and the Word was with God. And the Word was God. The Word was with God in the beginning. Everything came into being through the Word, everything. And without the Word, nothing came into being. What came into being through the Word was life, capital L, life. And that life was the light for all people. That light shines in the darkness, and the darkness does not extinguish the light. The true light that shines on all people was coming into the world. The light was in the world, and the world came into being through the light, but the world didn't recognize that light. The light came to his own people, and his own people did not welcome him. But those who did welcome him, those who believed in his name, he authorized to become children of God, born not from blood, not from human desire or passion, but born from God. The Word became flesh and made his home among us. We have seen his glory, glory like that of a Father's only Son, full of grace and truth. This is the word of God for the people of God. Thanks be to God. I find myself around this time of year when the whole world seems to be sort of speeding up and winding down at the same time. I find myself in a sort of a reflective mood. Reflective, thinking about things, and maybe you do too. It's that sort of strange December paradox, right, where our calendars are full, right, but something I think deeper starts to, or at least begs to, open or soften for us to pay attention to. I was thinking, though, even though half the time with trying to pay attention to all that, I'm not sure where whether I'm reflecting on the meaning of all of that, or just trying to remember where I put my keys, which seems to be a daily occurrence for me. So there's a lot going on, right, this time of year. People to see, and gifts to give, and meals to prepare, calls to make, cards to write, all of that. There is a lot of fuss about a lot of things this time of year. And still, right in the middle of it all, in the middle of all that noise and motion, if not commotion, there's something I think about Christmas that, I don't know, grabs us by the sleeve. It stirs something in us that, I don't know, maybe it's something that we can't quite name. I mean, even people who consider themselves non-religious or non-church-going, people who say, I'm not going to church, can't drag me there. Even those folks, I know a lot of those folks, sometimes there is this tug, right? There is this ache, this longing for something more than to try to complete the next task on the list. In all of us, whether you call yourself Christian, churchgoer, religious or not. And I think if we slow down, even just for a moment, just slow down, if we let our minds and our hearts catch up to our bodies, I think every now and then we get a glimpse of something. Maybe it's a spark of wonder. It's a whisper of hope. A reminder that maybe, just maybe, we have this realization that we're really not alone. We are not alone. And that love that in its most extraordinary form, what John says has come near, close. So today, as we enter into this Christmas week, I want to offer very simply just what I'm just calling a little Christmas reflection. Just a little Christmas reflection. A little Christmas reflection. It's not flashy. It's not complicated. It's just this. I wanted to spend a moment to maybe allow us to breathe, to listen, and maybe let John's gospel tell us something about the light, this light that actually refuses to go away. Okay? You ready? Back row? Ready? Cheap seats? All right. How many of you know the name Frederick Buechner? Anybody? Ah, good. Frederick Buechner. Kathy knows Frederick Buechner. One of my favorite authors, pastor, theologian, writer. And I remember reading years ago that he was reflecting on Christmas. Years ago, I'm talking about in the 1900s, right? And reflecting on Christmas. And I think his words are more true now, or just as true now, than when he wrote them. And I want to share with you what he wrote, okay? This is what he says. It was thousands of years ago and thousands of miles away, but it is a visit that for all our madness and cynicism, we have never quite forgotten. The oxen in their stalls, the smell of hay, the shepherds all standing around. That child and that place are somehow the closest of all close encounters, the one that brings us closest to something that cannot be told in any other way. Then he goes on. The world has never been quite the same since. True. It's still a very dark world. In some ways, even darker than before. But the darkness is different because he keeps getting born into it. Anyone who has ever known him has known him perhaps better in the dark than anywhere else, because it is in the dark where he seems to visit most often. That's pretty good. You know, and I like how he reminds us that this light speaks to us in a way that nothing else can, especially in the dark. And if we're honest, I think if we're honest, most of us know the dark maybe more than we would care to admit. I know the dark. I'm sure you know the dark. And I think that's why maybe that's why we like things like sitting around a campfire. We're drawn to a campfire on a cold night where we sort of lean into the light just enough to feel the warmth, but not too close that we're going to lose our eyebrows, right? It's why sunrises move us, why we like that. While some of us will go extra lengths to get to a place where we can see a sunrise. It's that night sort of pulling back from the edges and has a way of surrendering itself to the dawn. And there's sunsets too, right? The sunsets leave us, quiet. This day that was giving way to the day that is to come. And it's why I think Christmas lights, all of this, and the stuff on the streets, in people's homes, maybe in your home, why Christmas lights twinkling on porches and wrapped around trees, why it still does something to us. Light. Even if we only come to church, once or twice a year, people are really drawn to Christmas Eve. People who never go to church, they come to Christmas Eve. We're drawn to these carols and these candles and to this moment in the sanctuary, right, where the light is shared. It is an amazing thing to watch, this moment where we pass the light from one person to another, usually singing Silent Night, and then the light begins to broaden, and all the faces are glowing with the light. And I think there's something in us that actually wonders as we take that in, whether we have words for it or not. I think some of us wondered things like, could the despair I carry be pushed back too? Could the heaviness I've been dragging around finally lift? Could that light find me again? I don't know about you. I think of the news, right? And we see it all the time. And school shootings, the violence, the hate speech, the losses that never seem to stop coming. So many of these have become so tragically frequent that I think that they have lost their shock value. We see a shooting at Brown University this last week. And a lot of people would just think, oh, well, another one. Fewer people find themselves even crying out in some kind of anguish. Oh my God, how can this be? And I'm afraid instead we've developed what Parker Palmer calls a genteel jadedness. Genteel jadedness, this weariness that reflects not just exhaustion, but a deeper loss of our shared humanity. It's all around us. And yet, here's the truth that darkness cannot touch. There is a light within you. A light within me. A light within all of us. That no shadow, no matter how long or deep or dark, can extinguish. Hard to believe, isn't it? There's something deeply human in us that needs this reminder. We are not alone. And maybe more than that, we need to be reminded of the divine spark that is within us. The divine spark that is in you. From what the book says, you were created in the image of God. The Imago Dei. Everywhere you go, the image of God is there. And in that image, there is a divine spark of life and light. And I think we need to be reminded of that. Not just for ourselves, but for the way we look at each other. C.S. Lewis one time said, no one ever meets a mere mortal. That when I look at you, I see people who carry this divine DNA, the divine light, the divine life of God. All of that has a way, I think, of getting buried, right? I mean, I know in my own life, gets buried, heaping debris on top of it, or having some kind of thought in my head trying to convince me that it's not true or that it's all gone. I think about the rubble that some of us carry. People you know, people I know, maybe perhaps yourself. The diagnosis. The broken relationship, the empty seat at the table. The prayers that have still gone unanswered. And I think of the thoughts that spiral us in our heads, spiral us into places that we were never meant to go. And yet this is the wonder of John 1. In him was life. And that life was the light of all people. All people. Last time I checked, all means all. All means all. Every single one of us. Every story, every nation, every struggle, every beginning, every ending, every heart in this room, and in fact, every heart that is outside this room. All. All. There are a lot of reasons, I think that more people come to church around the Christmas time. There are a lot of reasons. Some of us come, I think, because we've always come, right? Our grandparents did, our parents did, and so here we are. It's just what we do. Some come because someone we love said, hey, would you come with me? Would you join me? And we were not quick enough to make up an excuse. That's why we're here. And some come joyfully and expectantly, thinking that they're going to hear something or feel something. Their faith is still warm in their hearts. They feel it. And then there are some who come, people that are just worn down. I mean, their hearts are threadbare. And their faith is hanging by a single thread. And then some, I think, come hoping that the old story just might become new again. It might be a flicker. Maybe a spark. Maybe something might catch fire. But under all those reasons, whatever they are, I think maybe we come because of something else. Maybe we come to be a part of something more often this time of year, this kind of thing, Christmas, church and all that. Maybe we come because whether we name it or not, we're actually hungry. You're hungry. I'm hungry. Hungry for connection, hungry for some kind of meaning. Hungry for something or someone who can hold all of our contradictions, all that makes you and me human, our hope and our heartbreak, our faith and our doubt, our longing and our fear. We come because, whether we have the words for it or not, I think there's something in all of us that wants to be reunited with the one who breathed life into us in the first place. The one who is still breathing life into you. Now, I think that more than anything, underneath the wrapping paper and the parties, the traditions, that what we really want is what Buechner called a visit. We really want a visit. A visit from the one who keeps showing up in the dark. A visit from the light that shines and shines and shines and shines and shines. So I have a hope for you, my friends. My hope for you this Christmas is this. May you never lose sight of the light of Christ. The divine light that has been following you, searching for you, reaching toward you since the very day you were born. May that light visit you again this year. In the places that you welcome it, and in the places where you were not expecting grace at all to show up. May that warm your cold heart. May it soften what has grown rigid. May it illuminate what has grown confusing for you. And may it gently reveal the truth. You are not alone. You are loved. And because Christ is our light, your story, our story, is still being written in hope. That's my hope for you. Merry Christmas, my friends.